Is there any reason to limit the budget on a brand campaign? Yes. So only time that you would want to spend more is if you're okay with possibly paying for traffic that was going to find you anyway. That's the big thing, is a lot of times, like when we first started, I ran a brand campaign in the beginning and I turned it down really low. And they're like, oh, that one's going really, really great. I'm like, yeah, but you're only paying for your own traffic. They're like, oh, that's okay. And so we just started cranking it up. And what we saw is that your organic traffic and your brand traffic did this. And organic traffic went down, your brand traffic went up, just because people, when they find you organically, is because they Googled your name most often. And then obviously everything else that you're ranking really well for organically, but you're always going to organically rank really well for your name. And when people come back through any sort of Google channel searching for you, they come through your brand name. So we basically just took like 8,000 users and 1,000 users, and then went to like 7,000 and 3,000, like or 2,000. Like it basically just flip flopped. The flip side of that story, though, is that the brand traffic that you pay for converted much better than the organic conversion rate because it's very specific to the brand. Partially the reason why the brand traffic converted better than brand traffic that converted organically is because you're giving them a much clearer headline and you're showing up more often for those brand searches. People, when you saw section 119, they were typing in SEC 119, SEC 119. They may not always show up organically for that. We can bid on that. We can capture it. We get 20, 40% conversion rates on it. Awesome. But your organic traffic is going to be looking for, like ways to water my garden. And then also your brand name. So your conversion rate is going to be cut in half. So you can control the conversion rates, the ads that they see, where they go, what kind of promotions and offers that they have, or that you have. If you want everyone to know that's going to come to you, hey, I got free shipping and 20% off this week, put that in your brand campaign, crank up your brand campaign, get that out there. So what they're searching for you, they see that, oh yeah, I need to buy today. Sense of urgency, sense of scarcity. So, or if you have a page that organically, only half of my traffic hits my homepage, that's true. If you look at your analytics right now and you look at all pages and you look at it from Search Console, you'll see that probably less than half of all of your traffic reaches your homepage. But if you have a big banner on your homepage that has a promotion, you might pay more for that traffic to make sure that they get to your homepage so they see your promotion. So tons of reasons why you could. Just know that you are going to pay for traffic that's going to find you anyway. So free traffic, that converts. Now turns into paid traffic that converts. Your cost per conversion is going to be somewhat of a number that you're going to pay for that you probably would have got anyway. But if the benefits outweigh the cost, like setting up the right page, knowing the right promotions, having the right descriptions and titles, putting a call extension in my headline, all those things is a reason to pay for traffic. E-commerce usually more, or sorry, lead generation usually more than e-commerce. Usually there's more reasons to pay for branded traffic in lead generation, is because you are going to need to be a little bit more competitive and have those people come back a little bit more when they're searching for a service provider on an ongoing MRR, like a monthly recurring revenue type of relationship. But again, you're going to get that traffic anyway. So knowing how you can manipulate that traffic, if it's worth paying per click.
Question from Don for RLSA, is there guidance on when to use all website traffic and when to use website Google Ads?
Yeah, so really no necessarily guidance. The longest a person can be in a remarketing audience is 540 days. So here's a good example. Let's say 6 months ago, you paid an affiliate to send 10,000 users to your site, and that was horrible, and it failed and crashed and burned. It was really, really bad. If you import an audience from analytics, those bad users are going to be in there. But if you just start a brand new Google Ads campaign and you wanted to start the remarketing campaign, and if you use the Google Ads tag that you just created, a week ago, all of that previous audience is not going to be in there. We're not gonna have people that possibly are searching or maybe even start a remarketing campaign on display, which is what we're going to be doing, or what we've already done, but something that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. But you're gonna cut out all that bad traffic. However, if you have a ton of good traffic that has converted and tons of good engagement that you think is going to convert soon, and you said, hey, if any of these people are still searching, I want to make sure I can capture those audience, then import it from analytics. However, that's going to be a very small amount of people. And think about that. from the time that you just started your campaign versus the time that they last searched for something and are just about to search again, which can be 2 days, you have to launch a campaign and capitalize on all those people. Is it an added benefit? Possibly. I mean, measurable, maybe not. Is it worth not having the previous organic traffic that had a 1% conversion rate that is still searching, paying 40% more for that traffic? I wouldn't pay 40% more for that traffic. Yeah, they're going to find you anyway. Would you pay 40% more for those people? Maybe not. But if you were going after a very specific keyword and you knew that keyword was of good quality and that keyword drove a person to your website and then they didn't convert and they left and they were still searching that keyword, the Google Ads tag is going to not include any of the bad previous history and is only going to include the good most recent history of really targeted keywords and then pay 40% more bringing those people back. That's usually the best case scenario for me.
Michael, Mike, what is the best way to set up landing page split tests?
I don't like Google Ads experiments. I don't. Google Ads experiments kind of locks you in for 90 days kind of thing. And I don't like doing that. Here's my opinion. With the multi-touch points, I don't believe that people can do landing page split tests like they think they can. Landing page split test, in my opinion, is a little archaic. It's on the 2014, 2015, where it's like you bid on a keyword, send them to a squeeze page. They either buy, die, or unsubscribe. Like you get them and then they're out. 30% of the traffic on e-commerce comes back more than once before they buy. How do you do a good split test? You have campaign A sending the product page A, and you have campaign B, like the brand, sending it back to your homepage of your website. Was there a split test? What if they saw a different page? Would they have come back? Are you monitoring every single split test of every single person, every single user that comes back, and where they came back through and what page version they saw before they came back? Squeeze pages, yeah, you can split test. Like I have one page sending 50% of my traffic to this page, 50% of my traffic to a different version of this page. No one can come back. There's no other products. There's no remarketing built in. There's no dynamic remarketing. There's no smart shopping remarketing. It's just, did they land once and did they convert? Once you add in multiple campaigns with multiple touch points, with multiple devices, with multiple cross, or different IPs that's going to script that A/B test, and then you're going to see what the average amount of users and time lag converts. The A/B test is now 1/10 of that. So is it really an A/B test? Not really. So my kind of thing is the big main mantra of people that are pushing split tests. My opinion, they're lying. They're full of it. I don't believe them. I can disassemble any argument that they say about a split test every time, and no one can really say, well, yeah, but okay, I can't, yeah, but whatever. I don't know. I need to have those really specific data points. I need to know time lag. I need to know how many visits. I need to know what campaigns they came back in. I need to know where they started, where they ended. And if we know that 50% of the traffic may see that page first, and that's one touch point. Remember the top conversion path where it's like they came back directly 37 times. What split test is going to help you when on path 8, they did that path 8 37 times? It's never going to work. So that's why I have a hard time actually listening to the A/B testers. And my opinion is saying, if you look at Lucky Orange and finding out where they're getting stuck or where they're engaging most, that's more valuable than any A/B test, in my opinion. If you need to run an A/B test,
where they're getting stuck, then you can split test the stuck.
There you go, or just fix it and run a consecutive one. That's my opinion. I don't run A/B tests concurrently. I run them consecutively. So I run a page for 30 days and then a different version of that page for the next 30 days, knowing that it's a closed ecosystem. They can only have come back to, refined, and revisit 4 times that same B version, and it's not going to switch between A and B. So the 4 visits, they don't get like A, B, A, B. That's not an A/B test. They got confused. So you want to make sure that you're in a closed ecosystem. And you're doing it consecutively for X amount of time, they saw this page, X amount of time, they saw this page, which time was better. Then you have to then consider all of the optimizations that you're making, plus the time of year, the seasonality, all that stuff plays in consideration. So again, use at your own discretion. My thoughts are, I can't pinpoint and say, was that actually the reason? Or was it because I changed my target CPA up by 50% and got more conversions? Was it the page? Can't tell you, so I don't know. That's why I don't like that. A question about issues with my feed. Can I? Yeah.
Okay, real quick. I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to double check. So I did something really dumb. I forgot I was already using like I already had a feed set up for my Shopify store.
Mhm.
I had everything connected and whatever, but I got so focused on those like how do I get those conversion actions that you were showing in Google Analytics that I wanted that extra data because my app that I'm using didn't give me that.
Mhm.
So then I go through those, I go through those steps and I set up the Google Ads shopping feed, and then it starts. Now I have like 2 feeds, and so it started to like add those products as totally different products.
Mhm.
In the, I still only have 1 feed in Merchant Center. Like when I go to my feeds, it still just says Content API, but there's definitely additional products in there. So I removed the app that you were showing because I'm planning on using the one that I had. Do I just simply go to the all products, find all the ones that were added in the meantime from the Google uh, Ads app and just delete them? Or
Well, what was the other feed manager tool you're using?
so this one's
If you
it's
want,
like
you can share your screen too.
Simp Shopify apps here. Or I don't know how to share my screen.
Oh,
Let's see.
in the
Oh, there
Zoom
we go.
window. Yeah, there's a bottom.
Uh,
I'm gonna kill my camera so you can see it too.
So this guy here, and I like it, but then if I go over to my feed, as you can see here, it started to add.
Looks like those new ones that are added are disapproved too.
Right, yeah, there's all kinds of problems with it. And so if I go to, let's see, item ID, I think is where, yeah, so you can see all the ones with this ending are the ones that app that you were showing used or added. But I can find like they are duplicated. Like this product is also in there under a different ID from my original feed.
Gotcha. What now I don't know the other fees, so this is more of a question that I don't know if you can answer. Maybe they have a help. But are you able to disconnect your old feed and then delete the content API from your Merchant Center and then repush your old content API to essentially refresh your feed?
So that's what I tried. I tried to it logs me out. I like resynced everything yesterday, but that didn't do anything for me. So I haven't reached out to support yet to see if there's something else I can do. But I mean, like, I know I mean, I could just click on here and like trash it. I'm assuming that's, but
Yeah, you
before I
can.
started trashing things.
Yeah, you can actually you could filter by hopefully item ID contains Shopify, which should be the only item IDs that came from that Shopify integration. And if you want to remove those will remove it. And if your old feed's still connected, then you've already disconnected your Shopify feed app from Google, the one that I had. You should not experience any issues further.
Yeah, so because each feed, the one I was using and this other one use a completely different item ID. So I know for sure if I filter by this, I'm safe to say that
Yeah.
that is unique and I have no problem getting rid of those. So I was pretty sure I could just delete them, but I wanted to make sure because,
Yeah, I'd filter by that item ID that contains like that, and then just delete those, and you shouldn't have a problem at all.
All right, perfect.
Cool.
Some had a comment. I'm assuming since that's their first point of contact, thinking if you can convince someone the first time they land, they're more likely to land if they end up there again.
Yep, and that's the thing is if you're running a concurrent A/B test, like if you're swapping 50 traffic, you're gonna have to see your UTM parameter is gonna say smart shopping saw this version, smart shopping that caused that version. And then you have to say, well, then the people that converted, what path did they take when they converted? Because 30% of those people are going to come back somewhere else. A remarketing ad. The remarketing ad that they saw, was that the same product? Or did they get remarketed from a different product? Because we know that sometimes half the traffic, more than that, clicks on product A, buys product B. So again, there's so many variables at play that you would physically have to go day by day and map every single purchase, say, oh, okay, this is actually what took place. And the people that started here before they took these 3 other actions and then came back directly that bought, saw this version of this page, and it was the same product and the same version of that page, every return visit. And that's where it gets almost impossible. I don't know of an A/B testing tool like even Optimizely, and Google Optimize can't do that. So that's where I get into like, yeah, there is an A/B test, but there's so many other things that you could do instead, in my opinion.
Google Optimize has some cool like multivariant testing, path redirects. So there's it's not the traditional split testing.
Optimizely, yeah.
Yeah, there's some like experience testing that you can do. I still, to John's point, I don't know that it's definitive, but it lets you dive a little bit deeper than just, you know, the good old fashioned click funnels like A or B.
Yeah, and when you run brand campaigns, a lot of that traffic comes back to the brand, and then a lot of that traffic goes to your homepage, and then hopefully they bought that product that they originally saw. If not,
Google's own admission, they can't track 30% of conversions. There's broken session fees. So, you know, it almost, yeah, we're flying blind.
yeah, it's like after you weed through all the variables, you're like, all right, I have a 9% accuracy that A/B test is right. Where it's like, you know, is that a real A/B test? Yeah.
So the new rule is don't ask John about split testing.
I mean, if I could crack that code, that would be amazing. I talk myself out of it so many times because every client asks, are we A/B testing? It's like, well, what? And how are we measuring that? And then are we measuring that every single time? And then what are consistencies? Is it the same product that they clicked on the first time? Did they ever get remarketed on their product? Do they come back through Google Ads or do they come back directly and organically? Is the UTM parameters the same? Yeah, because that product page click was the same as the other product, or is the same product page click. We just showed a different version of that page. You got to find those top conversion paths, and those have to be 100% accurate because you're going to make an expensive decision off that A/B test. And if you're wrong, then let's say your conversion lags 21 days. A month later, things are going to go bad, and you don't know why. And then you have to look at, well, what did I do since my A/B test in terms of optimizing the account? Plus, was the A/B test right? So again, another point, conversion lag. That's going to be a huge issue too. Then you have competitive ecosystem with someone else selling a similar product for cheaper all of a sudden. You know, there's so many things that I can go through that just make it hard, I think.